Buckeye fans, welcome in to week number 3. The Ohio State Buckeyes are getting set to take on the OU Bobcats in a game that's going to be a ton of fun on Saturday night. We got so much to get to, so we appreciate you jumping in and joining us. If you're new-ish to the program, if you didn't catch any of our content on Saturday, we have a new home. It is Roundtable Sports. You're going to see a QR code pop up in the top right corner. I'm going to move it over to the top left corner. This will get you this QR code. I'm always backwards doing this. This QR code right here, scan that thing. It'll take you to our new home on Roundtable Sports, an exciting new opportunity for us to be pushing content. It's a little more fun, a little bit more relaxed than we typically do, and a lot more fun and more ways to interact, most importantly, with you. So make sure you get over there, create an account, log in, follow Kevin and myself in the platform, and you'll be in good shape here. Kev, welcome back, dude. I know we had a busy weekend. We didn't get to talk to you after the Ohio State beatdown of Grambling. Is there anything at all that you took away from it, or did you just check the scoreboard and say, hey, good to go, check the box?
No, so I was in the Eucharistic interruptus between the wedding and the reception when the game was going on. So was able to catch some of it. I mean, Carnell Tate is wide receiver 1 at any other school but ours. I think he's wide receiver 1 over Ryan Williams at Bama. Granted, they can't get on the ball, but I mean, that might be I'm not kidding. I think there's less than 5 guys better than him currently playing college football. I mean, the reason we didn't see him last year is Emeka, who instantly became a sensation yesterday. So other than that, I mean, I just love the depth that we have. Petty John looked great. I mean, it just all around, like Devin Sanchez looked good on defense. We just played very well as a team in terms of depth, where it showed like, hey, we might not see a lot of these guys. I mean, some of them might have played their way into some playing time, but we might not see all of them, but it's going to be a fun year.
Just love what you said there. Carnell, we'll talk about him every single chance we get, because, you know, I agree exactly with you, man. He is so fun to watch, and, you know, just happy for him. He's getting his opportunity here to really be, you know, he's only got one shadow to deal with, and that's Jeremiah Smith. You don't got to be, you know, in that third or even fourth string role or fourth spot that he's been in the past. But a guy that you need to go back and look at or get ready to say a lot is Bo Jackson. He was awesome. He was awesome on Saturday, as he should have been. But I do think that there's question marks isn't the right word, but an unfilled spot in that running back room where Ohio State's looking for some juice. And this kid from Cleveland, man, he's got a little something to him. Got a little something to him.
He does. I want to put into it's like guys that play well in the third quarter of a preseason game. I don't think this was Grambling starters. Yeah. He's definitely got some stuff to him, but, you know, they're hard on him, which means he's young and inexperienced and needs a little extra attention. And you saw it with the running back coach. I'm blanking on his name right now. He went out and yelled at him and made him turn around and go run back. And I think that either thank somebody or give the ball to the referee or something. Either or. The kid's talented. I'm not going to say until he's not, but with him, Donaldson, and Peoples back there, I feel very confident that this running back room will be, 1, of depth, and 2, if something happens, it'll be in good hands.
Yeah, that was the thing that was my kind of big takeaway, was that if something does happen to any position, right, anybody gets injured, you feel decent about the guys that are in the back end, because like you said, you lived it. Ohio State fans experience it every year. These games like last Saturday and upcoming Saturday are fun because we get to see the future Buckeyes, and maybe not so much so this upcoming Saturday. And we'll get into a few of the reasons why, but it was really cool to see some of those depth guys. And also, hey, your starters, it's so impressive, man, that they just came out and there wasn't even a second where you thought, hey, they took this game for granted. Like, not even a split second, not a second in warmups, not a second before kickoff, not a second after kickoff. You're like, hey, this is a mature group, it's no surprise, right? It's not that we weren't expecting it, but they came out and took care of business. But Kev, we did what we needed to do on Saturday. That really wasn't the case all around, at least the top 25 and all around college football, just in general. Week 2 was just as crazy as week 1, but for different reasons. Week 1 had these huge marquee matchups, top 10 matchups all throughout it. Week 2, man, holy cow. Some of these big boys sleptwalked through their games and got punched in the mouth for it, because it was a crazy weekend. Penn State rolls, but only wins 34-0 against FIU. LSU only beats Louisiana Tech, like an in-state rival, like little brother, big brother, something we're going to experience on Saturday. They only win 23-7. Austin Peay loses to Georgia. Georgia beats Austin Peay 28-6. Oregon rolls. Texas got off to a slow start. Clemson needed a freaking rabbit out of a hat to beat Troy. Mississippi State. Did you see that? Did you see that game?
I did. Here's my thing. I think ASU was overranked anyway. I think they were overrated, and I think Florida was overrated, and it showed. Yes. The other thing is that quarterback down at USF. Look out. Byron Brown is a good foot. He was the only – it was him and Jaden Daniels were the only 2 quarterbacks the year Jaden won the Heisman. It was like 1,000 rushing and 2,000 passing or something weird like that, where they were the only 2 in all of football. And this guy was still down at USF. So obviously either he's very loyal or there's some things wrong with it. But let's not say, like, in terms of like mechanics or something where no one to go in there to get him out of the transfer portal. But he never entered the transfer portal either. So that's where I'm like, maybe he's just loyal and liked USF and loved.
You ever been to Tampa, Kev? You ever been to Tampa?
I have, but
it's
nice. But I mean, you're telling me that Miami, after losing Cam Ward, couldn't go over and get him? Like, good point. Come on.
Checkmate.
Yeah. So
it was those games were cool, dude. All right, so behind baseball, the Mississippi State game, Mississippi State versus Arizona State, and I'm going to pair this with the Michigan State and Boston College game because they were happening at the same time. Both games were crazy. The Michigan State game was out of control fun. But I'm driving back from the game on Saturday night, and I drive back to Cleveland. So Columbus to Cleveland, it's a long drive after a long day. It's tough sometimes to get through. So I'll pull a game up and listen to it, right? And I may or may not wager a little bit on my ride home just to have a little juice going. So I wager on the Michigan State game to win it, and to move the line from minus money to plus money. I put $2 on, or I added Arizona State to win the football game. They were minus 600 when I added them into my parlay, and I turned the game on. And the second I hit play, 50 yards to the house, my jaw was on the floor, dude. I was
insane.
like, what the hell?
It was insane. I mean, there's Mississippi State fans that have their first shred of joy for the first time in, God, I could tell you when. I mean, it's got to be something like the telltale heart, hearing those cowbells, where it's just disappointment since Dak Prescott left. Even when he was there, I mean, they were the first ever number 1 team in the CFP rankings. They were number 1 in the CFP rankings the first week it ever came out. And they have been a dumpster fire since. I mean, they had Mike Leach down there who's making it fun again. But, I mean, it just – this was a huge game for both their fan base.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it just for college football, because it showed – these first few weeks show that, like, the preseason rankings don't mean a whole lot, except for maybe the top 5, 6, 7. After that – I mean, minus Bama, I'm putting my phone in my mouth instantly. After that, like, sniffing the top 25 before – well, actually, no, because the top 25 from, like, 10 to 25 is a joke. Yeah. Sniffing the top 10 after week 5, I think you're a competitive team. Yeah. Before that, different conversation.
Totally with you there. Super cool. What are your thoughts before we start talking Buckeyes on the cowbells? I hate them.
They're lunacy. I mean, I couldn't go to a game there. I mean, Starkville's got to be the worst place in America to live. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's nothing close to it. It's got to be terrible.
Kev with the double down.
I'm standing by. I'm honestly, it drives me It drives me nuts. Like, I couldn't imagine growing up and being like, I can't wait to wave my cowbell. No.
I want to go. Hey, we grew up. Hey, I want to go to the Ohio State game and wear scarlet and gray. They grew up with a cowbell in their bin or whatever, in their crates when they're born. Crate. I'm gonna get pummeled.
We can get the Alabama people in here, and I guarantee they're directly on my side. The Alabama Roundtable would probably be on my side too. Like, that's a reality.
Likely. Very, very likely there. Very likely there. But, Kev, a big reason why the week one was so crazy was because of these mid-majors, man. It's another week where the MAC specifically, competed. We're going to talk about OU here in a little bit, but you talked about Troy and Clemson. Troy was beating Clemson 16-3 at halftime of their football game. South Florida takes down the University of Florida, which is insane. Iowa, well, I guess Iowa State's not it, but a handful of others just are competing, right? OU beats West Virginia in the coolest environment. And frankly, shout out to West Virginia for doing an away game at OU. Pretty cool. And then shout out to the Cats for getting the job done, man. What is it about playing these lesser opponents? Or I guess what's your stance on, hey, these mid-majors aren't as far off as they may have once were in college football?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is they don't just get paid. Some of these mid-majors aren't just getting paid, hey, here's $2 million to come show up for us. They're like, no, we'll take $1 million and have a home and home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's do, because they realize that they can play. I mean, they realize the reality of it. When some of these guys who've never played in front of these size stadiums step foot in these stadiums, it rattles them a little bit. It really does. And that's just factual. Like, I think that these mid-majors are starting to step up. I think it's also like, a lot of guys that were borderline 3 stars, like lower 3 stars, like they're not getting the same looks as they used to from these bigger schools that can just buy talent from other places. Like, you're seeing a lot of shuffling of 4 and 5. I mean, look at UNLV's roster. I mean, it's all 4 and 5 stars. Like there's a lot of people that were cusp that are like, you know what, we'll just go spend money in the portal for that instead of going for this guy. And then they join a mid-major like an OU. I don't want to say Kent State. That's a bad example.
Kent State or Akron, throw those out.
Let's go Toledo. Let's be safe and say
Toledo, great one.
I mean, Kent State basketball, fantastic. Kent State football, different story. But Toledo, like, there's some guys from the Ohio, Indiana, Michigan triangle that might have been a walk-on or might have been a lower-end scholarship kid at a big-time school. Like, thinking about Denzel Ward, who was a 3-star recruit. Like, some of these guys might not have gotten offers because, like, we want to save room for the portal, And now they're going to these schools and making plays because they would have been making plays on Saturdays for the Power Fives anyway. They just didn't get the shot.
Yeah. And, dude, we stick in the MAC here. Let's just make it a MAC show. We don't got to go because we're playing OU. Obviously, OU has been a really good program in the MAC for a long time. We're Cleveland guys. The MAC's awesome. But you go back to week one of this year, OU takes Rutgers to the finish line. Rutgers beats OU 34-31. And then Buffalo was beating Minnesota halfway through the third quarter in week one. Wisconsin only beats Miami of Ohio 17-0. Western Michigan loses to Michigan State 23-6. And then the big one was Kentucky beats Toledo 24-16. Like, all of those games are tight. And then you go into next week, the following week, week 2, and OU beats West Virginia. Like, these teams, and it's really impressive, man, because you get a guy like, whoever, you get a good player on a MAC school, a good player in wherever. They're in this day and age, Ohio State, if they like the cornerback from OU, they could just make one phone call. There's $1 million coming your way. Yep. It's really impressive that they're still able to, and it's coaches and programs, and not all of them are the same, but some of them. Right. It's really impressive that they've been able to kind of keep their guys and build programs that are sustainable in this day and age.
Yeah, I mean, it's culture. That's everyone talks about culture. It's kind of been diluted a little bit, but it's factual. People that know it get it, and that's just what it is. I keep getting hit by this dumb thing right here in my face. But that's just no, it's fine. That's just the reality of it. Like, it is the culture these guys build. It's incredible salesmanship out of these coaches to convince these kids to stick around because they're definitely getting calls from people. It's like, hey, You could go there and be maybe a starter, but then look at Devin Brown. Devin Brown not winning the Cal job is the best advertisement for these mid-majors. Because you could go and not win the job, then you're playing backup, or you could start and become a Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
Hey, if Kevin Woidke calls you, you're buying for sure, because what you just said right there is that was smooth stuff. But it's right. It's really cool to see. And in a day and age where you thought that, hey, it was going to start being dominated by the big schools. It's really cool to see that some of these mid-majors are still able to live and stay alive in this environment. Now, Kev, looking back to kind of circling it back to the Big Ten, it's hard to believe we're talking week 3 football, right? It starts to happen, it starts rolling, and then it starts snowballing here. It's exciting stuff. But 2 weeks into the season, some teams have played some competition, others haven't. But you are starting to collect some data points of these programs, of these groups. Sitting here week 3, is there a team that stood out maybe in a positive way or a negative way, in your opinion, so far in the Big Ten?
Yeah, to be honest, Michigan State. Exactly. I called that.
You did call that.
I mean, before we started the year. I mean, Illinois got the job done. Illinois definitely got the job done. I think they've been kind of what was expected. I don't think Duke is that good of a team.
Yeah.
I wanted to pull up the records. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick here. Yeah, Illinois, obviously.
Illinois is going to be interesting. Illinois is going to be an interesting team. And dude, honestly, you look at their schedule. When we go to Champaign in about a month, 5-6 weeks. There's a legit chance that's a top 10 matchup. There's a very legitimate chance that that's a top 10 matchup, because Illinois, if they just win, they just keep winning, they are going to be a top 10 team. And there's a really good chance that they will keep winning. And I think that's a resume booster for Ohio State, but I do think that that's a program that's kind of on the rise. Now, question for you. There's a chance you didn't see this because you were at a wedding. Did you happen to see the live line in the Minnesota versus Northwestern State game at halftime? Any chance you saw this?
No, I did not.
It was the live line was 82.5. It was Northwestern State plus 82.5. That was the live action you could have got on the game. Let's see. I'm trying to get the box score. It was 59-0 at halftime. And thankfully, for some respect, Minnesota calls off all the dogs. They only scored 7 points in the second half. But it was a live line at 82.5, which is very good. There's a very good tweet out there or post out there. It was very, very funny. Not safe for this show, but very, very good stuff. Big game in the Big Ten, dude. That Michigan Oklahoma game, I thought opened a lot of eyes to what this Michigan team is. It's still an incomplete group, and although the hype's been surrounding the quarterback play the play hasn't matched it yet, and it got exposed. Not sure if you were to catch even a minute of that game on Saturday night, but it was a kind of a thorough beatdown by Oklahoma, and a couple big plays kept Michigan in it. But truth be told, Oklahoma kind of dominated that game on both sides of the football.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't able to because I prefer to not watch trash.
Put an end to fall weddings. Damn it!
Dude, don't even get me started. But I wouldn't have watched that trash anyway. I mean, those are two teams I have no respect for. I have no respect for the Oklahoma coach, Venables. I have no respect for Michigan as an entire program. I mean, that's just what it is. Played against the program and Venables, but I don't. And I think that game kind of showed it. Like, Oklahoma isn't a full team either. I mean, they should have put them away. Based on the highlights I saw, they should have put them away.
Very right.
Those guys just like defeated on both sides of the ball on the Michigan side. Like, they just didn't look like they had any fight in them. So, like, that should have been a blowout, and it wasn't, and it shows both ways.
It's very right. That's the right take on it. Oklahoma should have put it away. I think at one point Bryce Underwood missed on like 12 straight passes, which not great. If you're a quarterback, I've been there, done that, got benched because of that. But not great stuff there. So the Big Ten is, top to bottom, very, very competitive again. That Iowa State game was fantastic, a lot of fun. Obviously, we talked Illinois a little bit. Wisconsin, good to see them put up some numbers. Only scored 17 points against Miami, Ohio. They roll out 42 against Middle Tennessee State. Nebraska dominates Akron. USC unranked right now. They roll. Purdue now 2 straight good wins for Purdue. It's good to see them. Not good wins in terms of competition, but just winning football games. UCLA is so bad at football. It's so bad at football. Nico Iamaleava transfers there, tries to chase the bag, gets paid less money, goes home, and they suck. And Washington rolls. They rolled big. They scored 70 points on Saturday. So the Big Ten is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm so excited for next week for us to get into Big Ten play. But really important, Kevin, to not overlook the OU Bobcats. These dudes at OU can play some football. Our Monday shows are typically offensive focused for Ohio State. So, Kev, we identified a couple Bobcats on defense to keep our eyes out for. So take it away. Let's talk some Bobcats.
Yeah, I mean, I highlighted 3 guys. Number one is, Naheem.
Oh, you had it, dude.
Nehemiah Duke. One of those is probably right. He's got 7 tackles and 1 sack so far this year. He is their defensive line presence. He is the guy that you're going to look at. He's got the most tackles on the D-line and tied for the most sacks with another D-lineman. In the pass coverage game, not a lot to talk about. I got Cam Hollabaugh, who has the lone interception this year. It returned to 21 yards. It was probably like an over-the-middle slant or something. I didn't really look it up. And then, the leading pass, the pass deflectors are, the guy I was going to talk. Well, first off, one of them is a defensive lineman with 1, and the other one is Jack Fries. And Jack Fries is their best player on defense. He leads the team in tackles. Mm-hmm. He leads the team in pass deflections. He doesn't have a sack yet, but that's probably just time of waiting. And the other one is the other 2 leading tacklers are their safeties. So, that shows you that they're getting the ball out and the safeties are having to make plays. And their leading sack getter currently is another linebacker named Molnar. So it'll take too long for me to load his name, but he's got 1.5 sacks for 9 yards. It's an easy one. Not really much to write home about. That's just the reality. But I'm not saying that they're underwhelming. I think the underwhelming part of their defense is their defensive backs and their just their cornerbacks, especially.
Yeah. And you want to go back to Jack Fries for just a second. Where's number 44, or excuse me, where's number 27 in the middle of that defense? And this is really his first chance at getting real playing time for OU. Last year as a freshman, only had 9 total tackles on the season. Already he's got 15, 6 solos, 9 assists. And like you said, he's active in the pass game, right? A lot of pass deflections. He's got 3 so far. And then, I want to talk, about the opponents that they've played. So obviously Rutgers, they give Rutgers a really good shot. They beat West Virginia. Those are 2 awesome opponents for them. Now, in the grand scheme of things, like Rutgers is obviously low-level Big Ten, and West Virginia has been kind of in like a little bit of a wasteland for a couple seasons in the Big 12. And those are, while they're good wins, they're like a big brand to beat. It's not the best football teams that OU's been competing against. So very good for them to get those victories, but also to understanding that, doing not the craziest upsets you've ever seen before. But another guy that I just want to call out, Cleveland guy, Adonis Williams Jr. He's a senior for the Bobcats. He's from Cleveland Heights. So obviously everybody now knows Cleveland Heights is the home of the Kelseys, but shout out to one of our 216 guys doing his thing down at OU. So Kev, we're going to wrap as we always do, talking about keys to the game for the Buckeyes. Again, this is going to be, we talked a lot last week how games like this are not an evaluation against the scoreboard, okay? Ohio State's expected to win. They're going to be expected to roll, but it's an evaluation against the standard of what it is to be a Buckeye, right? Do they come out and take care of business the way they're supposed to? They proved that last week that that's never going to be a question, and it's going to be a similar conversation come this Saturday. So what do you have your eyes on from the offensive perspective going into this game on Saturday against OU?
Yeah, I think they need to keep dominating the line of scrimmage. I think they need to get used to having a lot of rushing yards. I want to say we didn't have a whole lot against Texas.
No, actually had a fairly bad game against Texas, right? And then against Grambling, finished with 274 on the ground.
I would love to see him break 300. A lot of those rushing yards were like we talked about. Bo Jackson against some threes. Like these ones got to get used to running the football, and I'm thinking that we're obviously going to throw because this pass defense seems to be like next to last, but. It'll be it. West Virginia can win, so I don't know. Yeah. But we averaged about 10 yards a play, 9.9. I would love to see that. I doubt where it's going to be as much of an uptick. But the other thing is Julian Sand does not need to be as perfect as he was. He was except for that interception, he was almost, I think, immaculate. So it was a matter of time until that happened, because every time a reporter or a broadcaster says, "Oh, he's 13 for 13," in the next two passes, something's going to go wrong. But they just love to ruin that. I don't know who is it. Joe Montana? Somebody paid them off years ago to jinx it every time. But that's something I'd say is big. And two is I would love to see them get the tight ends involved. Yes. Jelani Thurman, I think, didn't he have a touchdown last week?
Did have a touchdown. It was late in the game, though. He did have a touchdown.
Yeah, I would love to see them get Max Clare more involved, start designing plays, because we went to the portal and got him. We probably paid a pretty penny for him, and I would love to see him be more of an integral part. Imagine your bracket covering Jeremiah, and then you got a shade cover. You had a shade cover between Carnell Tate and Max Clare. If Max Clare's that vertical threat everyone talks about, imagine being that safety who's got to pick between who they want to guard, either Max Clare on a post or Carnell Tate on a streak. That's a problem I don't want to have.
Yeah. Pick one. I love it. No, establishing the run is going to be a good one. And you want to see more, I think right to your point, you want to see more of CJ Donaldson and James Peoples, right? Those are two guys I had my eye on last week. And they really tried to feature Peoples a little bit. He showed a little bit of juice to him, but I'd like to see him do it again, right? And I think what you said there is pretty important. Get used to rushing for 250 yards. Get used to rushing for 300 yards. Understand what it feels like to do that. I don't care who the opponent is, but get used to doing it. Now, what I will say, Kev, if you were you would have lost it on Saturday in the stadium. The first touchdown did go to Will Kazmarek, which was very cool, was super cool. It was a great catch, great throw. But I couldn't help but think of you, because the tight end podcast that we are, we were rolling to start. But to your point still remains, man, it's not a consistent, it was one big play. It was 48 touchdown. It was great, but it's not a consistent thing. You don't want to fall in love with using the receivers over and over and over again, especially when you got guys like Kazmarek and Max Clare and Jelani Thurman. But what I will say too, for Kazmarek, it's a game against his former OU Bobcats. He was a Bobcat before he transferred in to Ohio State. So a really cool opportunity for him. For me, I like what the O-line did last week, especially in pass pro. Liked what they did again in the run game. Still continue to get a little bit better. Love what Julian did at the quarterback position. And really liked what the receivers did. No drops last week. So my challenge this week is, again, for the receivers, no drops. Make sure that spell is totally out of them. And Jeremiah talked about it at Will. He goes, "Hey, I was hard on myself and the group, because the 4 drops they had in week 1 were totally unacceptable here." So, Kev, this will be a cool atmosphere, I think. You get OU, you get Ohio State. OU's roll, their fan base is probably feeling big in their britches right now. Saturday night, and it's a 7:00 game. I think it's got the potential to be a ton of fun down in Columbus.
No, it could be. I'm excited, to watch us play in darkness for the first time in probably all year. And
first time and last time, dude.
But no, it'll be fun. I know I assume you'll be down there.
Yep.
Maybe a couple other people from Roundtable down there, It should be a good atmosphere. Should be a good time. I'm hoping it's not a close game. I'm hoping this is similar to who was it? Who just blew out? Was it Maryland or was it Minnesota? Hopefully it's like Minnesota, who just absolutely no, not Buffalo. Who am I thinking? Who just blew somebody out? Was it Nebraska last week?
Well, Nebraska blew out Akron.
Akron, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Hopefully it's like that. But who knows? We'll see. It's Akron.
Yeah.
Akron.
That's next week when we do Around the MAC, we'll dive into the Zips and
perfect.
not great going on down there. But as Kevin said, a new home for us, right? Used to be on SI. Now we are a part of the Roundtable Sports Group. So if you're interested in our stuff, you like our stuff, really easy. Jump to this. There we go. This QR code, just scan it right there on your phone. Make an account. It's really simple. First name, last name, email. You don't have to pay for anything. You don't got to subscribe to anything. Nothing. Super easy to do, totally free. And it's all of our written content, all of our video content, all in one place. So really going to be a really fun platform for us, and it's going to continue to grow. It's a little bit on the newer side. So we'll have more features and stuff available to you, but you'll have direct access to me, direct access to Kevin. You can tell me I'm an idiot for my takes, or you can tell Kevin to get a haircut or whatever it is.
But I can do that now?
Oh, no, you look good, dude. You look good. No,
I meant the idiot part. I'm allowed to do that now.
Oh, there we go. But as always, appreciate you hanging out with us. We'll still be available on YouTube. So every one of the videos you see here will be on Roundtable. We'll still be on YouTube. So if you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, thank you. We're getting close to 5K. So hit that subscribe button if you are not. But all in all, we'll be back with another full week of content. We'll be back with you on Wednesday, looking at the Ohio State defense versus the OU offense, and then back with you Friday for a quick show, doing a little weekend preview, which I always love to do. And then, as Kevin said, we're on site on Saturday night. It'll be fun. Pre-game show, post-game press conferences, post-game reaction show, and then back with you Sunday looking at the film. So ton of content coming your way this week. Always appreciate you hanging out with us here on the Buckeye Roundtable YouTube channel. It's going to take some time to get used to, but I'll keep at it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.